Greetings, Dr. Mark Winton here from the University of Central Florida Department of Criminal Justice, and I'd like to welcome you to the course CCJ 6038, Violent Crimes and Criminals for the Spring 2019. And what I'd like to do in this brief video is introduce you to the course. First, I wanted to let you know that there's a really nice Canvas app that you can download for your tablet or your cell phone. And this would allow you to access the course materials from either your tablet and or your cell phone at any time, and you can check emails, you can send emails, you can read posts, you can read assignments, you can look at PowerPoints, you can look at the links and so on. So I think that's useful if you don't have your computer all the time, and there might be some time where you want to take a closer look at some of the materials, and maybe you're waiting in line in the grocery store, and you can take a look at what's going on in the course. Also, I wanted to mention that on the syllabus you'll see my office hours and contact information, the course objectives, and also the textbook, which we have right here, Violent Offenders. And I think what's really relevant about this is the subtitle, Theory, Research, Policy, and Practice. That's what we really want to do. We want to be able to go ahead and look at the materials in the textbook and any additional readings and think about how we can use that to solve our violent problem. In fact, in the last few years, we've seen a surprising increase in the homicide rate in the United States, and we're not sure how to explain that. And we're still working on that. So there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered, and there's also a lot of questions that have been answered already. So we'll see some of the practical applications. You can see on the syllabus that as far as the assignments go, we have 2 case studies, a comparative analysis, a debate hall, and a final exam. All of these will be written assignments. There will not be any multiple choice true false exams in this course. So I wanted to mention that right offhand. Also on page 6 you'll see that we have the course schedule, and you can see in the left hand column the topics by week, in the middle column the readings, and on the right hand column when the assignments are due, when they should be posted, and you'll post them in Canvas, and your colleagues will be able to read your posts and also provide constructive feedback as well. So that will be a very useful scenario. Also, I wanted to mention that every week I'll post in the announcements section the readings, materials, links for that particular week, and so that's something you always want to check. And I try to have material up well in advance so you can work ahead or work on your schedule as you see fit. And as far as the topics go, you'll see that we really start off discussing the different theories and some of the theoretical changes that have taken place recently. And then we move to look at risk factors and assessment of violent criminals. We also focus some attention on such factors as gender and age, which have been strong predictors of violence in that sense. Also, sex crimes, researching violence, child abuse and neglect, intimate partner violence, group violence, hate crimes, terrorism, and the criminal justice reaction to violent crimes and criminals. Some of the topics that we will also incorporate into the course would include topics such as school shootings, genocide, measuring evil, unusual cases, critical thinking skills, interviewing, and other topics that will hopefully translate into policy as well as practice. And I think that's a real important feature as well. Throughout the course we'll be also addressing mental disorders as related to violent crimes. And this is a course that I developed a number of years ago because I thought it would add a useful dimension to our graduate program. So I was very happy that the department allowed me to develop this course. I also developed a course mental disorders and crime, that became a permanent course as well. And so there's some overlap with those courses, although they're not taught that frequently overall because they're electives. One of the other features I wanted to mention is that there's a lot of changes going on, and we'll try to keep up with those changes as well in the course, and we'll provide some updated information that has come out since the publication of your textbook. But it's a wonderful textbook, a wealth of information, and you'll see some PowerPoints that go along with the textbook that I posted in the Canvas online class. Basically, I'll just mention real briefly, if you haven't had a course with me before, I welcome you and thank you for taking the course. If you've had a course with me before, thank you very much for taking another course with me. I greatly appreciate that. As far as my thought process, if you've had me for other courses, it's pretty much the same. It hasn't really changed much, the way I format the course. And so if you haven't, you'll see I pretty much try to keep things very straightforward, and so you know what the assignments are about, when they're due, what you should be reading. I try to keep that pretty organized. As far as my background, I spent my earlier career as a forensic mental health counselor. I worked in a sexual abuse unit and child abuse unit, and so I've worked with both perpetrators and survivors of violent crimes, and then I moved more into research and teaching. For the last 15 years, I've been focusing most of my research on genocide, and so you'll probably hear on that topic as it relates to violent crimes, but also how I try to integrate some of that research with others. For example, there's been semesters where I teach a genocide course and I teach a serial murder course, and it's almost as if those two groups of researchers never talk to each other, the serial murder researchers and the genocide researchers. So some very interesting features as well. I think it's a very exciting time to be in criminal justice. There's really a lot going on. We have an excellent department. We have excellent resources. Our library is wonderful, and there's all kinds of online information and that you can use for the course, and the librarians are very helpful, and you can contact them for live chats or email or call. And so as we progress in the course, as I mentioned, I'll provide some updates, but I just wanted to do a brief introduction. And I did want to mention that I am a 1984 graduate of the University of Central Florida, and also 1986 as well. So I've seen a lot of changes over the years, and I've been teaching in two different departments since 1990 at UCF. So I've been working with at the university, either teaching or, prior to that, of course, as a undergraduate and a graduate student. So I welcome you to the course. Thank you.